My title is Strength That Serves. Spiritual strength is the steady, spirit-centered capacity to trust God, to trust the Spirit, to do our inner work with honesty, and to extend ourselves in love for healing the world. I'm going to talk about those three movements. I'm calling it Trust God, Clean House, and Serve Others. It's a very simple way to live. If you're anything like me, I need things to be simple because I will forget complicated things. And when the world gets complicated, when it feels like life is getting complicated or difficult, I like to have something very simple to return to, and this works for me. Trust, first and foremost, trust the Spirit. Second, do my inner work, clean house. And third, step out in loving service to the world. And then go back to step one and repeat over and over. The Unity 12 Powers names the power of strength as the inner capacity to endure, to remain anchored in the truth, and to act from spiritual conviction. Mr. Fillmore wrote, "Strength is the faculty that enables us to stand firm and to endure." It is your kind of internal spiritual steamroller, if you will. It is a force that keeps us moving forward through difficulties. And like all of our 12 powers, and each time I talk about them, I mention that we all have them. It's not as if you don't have strength and you need to go out and get it. You do have it. The question is, and that's the same for all 12 of these, the question is, how am I using my power of strength? Am I using it in a skillful manner, or am I using it in an unskillful manner? And if I pay attention, the Spirit will show me how to use my power of strength in a skillful manner. So a skillful manner for the power of strength is to persevere when things get difficult. I don't know if you're familiar with the kind of the creative cycle. It's a circle of things. It begins with an idea. And with the idea comes excitement about the idea. And then you begin to implement it and everything's great. And then you run into resistance. Something comes up. All of a sudden, it doesn't seem so easy. All of a sudden, the clear path to success is clouded. And that is when we engage our power of strength to move through that resistance and come out on the other side of it, where once again we say, oh, I can see how this will work. Repeat in that circle. So the power of strength helps us walk through difficult times and persist. That is a skillful use of strength. An unskillful use of strength is dominating other people to get my own way. That is not how we want to be using our power of strength. It is not. None of these powers are meant to keep others down. They're meant to lift us up so we can lift others up. Strength is a quiet steadiness. It is a grounded presence in us. It's faithful follow-through. And when used skillfully, it is spirit-aligned strength and power. The color is light green. I do have a light green shirt. And the location in our bodies, our lower back. Think that strength that keeps us anchored. We have a strong back. The first movement, trust God. Truly, the Spirit is our refuge and our strength. If you spend time returning to that presence within, that silence that underpins everything, that no thing within us that is everything, you know this is true. The Spirit truly is our refuge and our source of strength. The one presence and one power that can help us in all circumstances. Emily Cady, one of the founding Unity writers, wrote in her book, Lessons in Truth, God in me is my supply. God is the source of all within. I think about ways that I use this principle of returning to that presence within. Always coming back to the well, if you will, the source, over and over again. Exactly like we do in a mindfulness breath awareness meditation, right? I talk about that all the time. Why? Because in a sense, that's all you need to know. If you know how to do a mindfulness breath awareness meditation, that's all you need. I've taken classes about contemplative practices, and there are many in the world, and they're all wonderful, and they can all get you where you're going. But my advice to you is you don't need 12 spiritual practices. You need one spiritual practice, maybe a backup, right? Maybe it's breath awareness and you add a walking meditation, because then you can literally do one or the other of those everywhere that you go. Pray without ceasing, that is called. And so I remember that when things in my life get difficult, and what that often looks like for me. We all have habits of mind. We all tend, under stress, to go to the same kinds of stressed places. Sometimes some of us ruminate on the past. We revisit old things we've done where I should have done better. I can't believe I did that. And we just ruminate on all of that. Some of us ruminate about the future, which shows up as fear. Right? I don't know what's going to happen. How is this going to work out? And for whatever reason, that's the way my brain is wired. If I get under stress, I'm not looking to the past. I have a fear that I can feel it in my body coming up. And just being able to do that has taken practice over time. But what I do now is the moment I feel it in my body, I've done this enough, I recognize it right away. Oh, obviously something just entered my mind that caused a fear reaction in me. I know it because I can feel it right here in my chest. It's like something squished. Tension. And I immediately bring my awareness to my breath. Say, I'm going back to the well. I'm going back to the source. Because if I allow that to take root in my mind tries to deal with it, all I'm really doing is fueling it. Can you see? I'm giving it energy. It's going to go on and on. It's never going to resolve. And I have learned slowly over time that if instead of that, I acknowledge it. Now, I'm not hiding from it. I'm becoming willing to really feel it. And I do that by bringing my awareness to my breath. And I notice, it's almost like shut your eyes and, yep, I can feel that fear right here. I can feel it right here. It's very familiar. I know what that feels like. I balance with my breath. It is, in a sense, this counsel that I heard early on about how our journey in many ways is keeping, what I've heard described as keeping a foot in each world, right? I keep a foot in the manifest world and I keep a foot in the realm of the spirit at all times. And in that way, in a sense, I'm acting as a bridge for others, right? I can lean into the spirit. I can lean into the manifest world, depending on what's going on. But I always have awareness of both. So I have awareness. I bring my awareness to my breath. I acknowledge and honor that fear that's in me. I'm not trying to fix it. That will only make it hang on more deeply, more strongly. And in this sense is how I put into action that motion in this triad that says trust God. Trust God is a wonderful idea. I need to know, like, what exactly do I do? I like the idea, but I need steps. What do? I need a practice, a spiritual practice. And that is what I do. Now that might work for you, or you might have something else. But I invite you to notice when some emotion takes you over, that you acknowledge it, get a foot in the realm of the spirit, and just allow it to be what it is. And inevitably, it will tend to fade some. Now, I'm not doing it to make it go away, but it has no recourse. I'm not buying the story. You understand? When I don't buy the story, it's got nothing to stand on. So it is going to naturally shrink. But I do it in a way that honors that experience. I'm not making an enemy out of it. That is how I trust God. I invite you to consider, and you'll know if you spend time in the silence in whatever way works best for you, the Spirit will show you how to do this. So I invite you simply to find out on your own what works for you. What is your dominant emotion that comes up more often than most? What is the thing that's been in you since you were a very little child? And can you welcome it in the awareness of the Spirit? Allow it to be so. Don't buy the story. And just see what happens. Trust God. The next movement is clean house. My foundation is trusting the Spirit. And then I turn within to do my inner work. My inner work can be best understood as releasing that which no longer serves me. You know that phrase if you've been around here often. I've heard that for a long time. That's another one. Man, do I love the sound of releasing that which no longer serves me. How do I do that? Well, in a way, it's what I just described. Don't buy the story. To do that, first, you have to develop your awareness of the story. Because usually in our lives, like before I got on any kind of purposeful spiritual path, I did not know when I was allowing the story in my mind to completely carry me away. And my entire life experience was that story. It still happens. It can still happen, depending on what it is. But it's not a permanent condition anymore, because I see what's going on. I see what's happening. So doing our inner work is being willing to acknowledge what is transpiring within us that is causing us fear or trouble or pain. Do we have behaviors that we know would be better otherwise? Addictions. I used to smoke. I knew that smoking's not a good idea for many, many years. And the way that we approach doing our inner work, and this is something, and I've said this often, nobody can do my inner work for me, but I cannot do it alone either. I need to do my individual part. I need a community to be a part of. And I may need a counselor, teacher, it could be a therapist, could be a minister, could be a spiritual director, anything, that kind of individual one-on-one part of the work as well. And the key to it is really summed in the word honesty. I need to be able to admit, yes, this is happening. As much as I would like to hide my flaws, if you will, from the world, doing that only keeps them in place. Right? If I can't say to myself and another human being the nature of what's going on, it's probably never going to leave me. So doing your inner work can be a little tricky. It's different for each of us, but it has the same hallmarks. And it begins with a willingness to acknowledge what is happening, honestly to ourselves first, and then take Spirit-guided action to resolve it, which can be difficult. That's why we might need guidance. I've spent a lot of time in individual, weekly, what the world might call psychological counseling therapy, right? But I know, really, it's spiritual underneath it all, because everything is. The moment I realize that absolutely everything in my life experience has the Spirit underneath it, then everything I experience is spiritual, one way or another. And through the help of another person, I'm able to process all these old things that I didn't realize it, but that I put in place when I was very, very little, coping mechanisms that used to serve me. There was a time when they were good and right, but I've outgrown them, but I'm still doing them. Those are the things that need healing in me. That is doing our inner work. That verse, create in me a clean heart. To me, it's almost like a billboard, like this is where I want to go. This is what I want to do. Spirit, show me the way to release all of these things that are consuming in me a tremendous amount of energy. That's another part of it. It takes life energy to keep these dysfunctions in place. And as scary as it is to acknowledge them and to allow them to come forward and allow them to be released, allow the Spirit to heal them. The gift of it all is you get that energy back. And you will feel it. It's amazing. And it's a permanent change. I've had this over and over. I am in many ways a skeptical person. Like, you tell me a thing, I'm like, Like, tell me more. How does this work? How can I experience this? Because when I experience it, then I know. Now I know this is true. And what I've experienced over and over is any healing, a minor healing releases a small amount of energy. A deep and major healing releases a tremendous amount of life energy. And when that has happened, I distinctly remember thinking, wow, I don't even know what to do with all this energy because this is a new experience. I wonder if this is going to stick around or is this going to go away? You know, will I be disappointed in 2 weeks when this energy is no longer available? That has never happened. It is a permanent change. It's astonishing. And really, our part in it, you ever, say, paint a room in your house? And if you watch any people on TV talk about painting, what are they doing? They're rolling the walls. And what I learned is by the time you're rolling, you're done. Because all the work is in the prep, right? All the taping along the windows, all that, so that when you get to the rolling, it's easy, right? Because you've done the prep work. By the time you're rolling, you're on the other side of the hump. You're on your way out. You're almost done. Well, what I've noticed about healing is that my job is not to fix myself. My job is to become fully prepared. I've got to do the inner prep work. And what astonishes me over and over, even though I know this and I've experienced this, is when you do that prep work, it's like I'm just getting ready to be healed. And once I've completed it to the best of my ability, guess what? The healing is already done. Like that. It's like, I missed it. When did that happen? All you have to do is say yes. All I have to do is be ready and completely willing to be healed. Be willing to release what's no longer serving me. Easier said than done. And once I am, the work is done. I don't have to do anything. And I think that was easy. Well, why wasn't it easy 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago? I don't know. But once I'm willing to let the Spirit lead and get out of my own way, it's like a miracle. It's just done. It's like rolling the walls. I'm already done. Pema Chodron, the Buddhist teacher whom I've come to love, talks about this letting go, because it's hard, because this is part of ourselves. We think this is who we are. We think we're the sum of our internal mind, all of our dysfunctions. So letting go of them can feel like, well, I'm dying, right? Who am I? Who am I if I don't have this fear in me that's so familiar that if I let it, it can define me. And she says, only to the extent that we expose ourselves over and over, and she used a strong word, to annihilation, can that which is indestructible be found in us. In unity terms, that is the divine. That's the spirit that underpins. That is the only thing that's indestructible. Only to the extent that I am willing to allow annihilation, the removal of anything that's contrary to the truth of the Spirit in me. That is the degree to which I will find and experience that Spirit within me. So this takes courage and strength to do, as you can well imagine. But as our fifth principle says, this is not enough. If I simply trust God and do my inner work and think, man, my life is great now. Good luck to the rest of y'all. It's not complete. It's not going to stick, in fact. I'm probably going to backslide if I don't. You know, this is the wisdom. I like to joke about the wisdom of the shampoo bottle. Trust God, clean house, help others. Step 4, repeat. No, rinse and repeat. Mm-hmm. Renew, you can call it renew and repeat. Now I forgot where I was going with that. It was really good too. Helping others. Bringing myself into the world. I remember, it's like when you fly on an airplane, and what does the flight attendant say? And part of the safety spiel that we all ignore.
Put your own mask on.
Put your own mask on first. And then, what? Pray for the person next to you. Isn't that what they say? I'm safe, good luck to you. You should try Jesus. No, we don't do that at all. You put on your own oxygen mask. That is doing our inner work. And then you assist the person next to you. What does that assistance look like? I don't know. It depends on the circumstance. If that person's really confused, you can take their mask and say, here, see what I did? You do this. Maybe you even have to put it on for them. Or maybe all you have to do is look over and see they've got their mask on too. Either way, we're showing up in service to the world. That is what we do. So you ask, well, what is mine to do in the world? Don't ask me. Ask God in you. What do you love to do in the world? Do you love to make quilts? Then do that. Be the best, most generous quilt maker you could ever imagine being. Just do that. Start with that. If there's something else, trust me, the Spirit will show you the way. Show you the way, whatever it might be. For me, a big part of it was answer the call to serve in this particular capacity. Answer the call to ministry, which has been a rocky road, I'll tell you. I know it is the right thing to do, but I also know it is not comfortable for me. It's like the last thing I would want to be doing. I've said that many times. I might be the most surprised to find myself standing up here. But if this is a way that I can help others on their journey, just as others have helped me on my journey. Another thing that's happening to me is I'm looking around my life. My spiritual director, who I still work with now, my primary Unity teacher, my very first Unity teacher, I spent much time with. I completely dove in to that. And I've been working with a therapist for 16 years now. They're all over 80. They're mid-80s. And I just woke up like, who's next? I mean, these people, they can't do this forever. Where is the 50-year-old inspiring spiritual director that I can work with? Where's the 60-year-old? Where's the one that I can work with until I'm 80? Guess where that person is? It's in the mirror. It just hit me this last week. I have to do it. Who's the next teacher? It's me. Well, I don't even know how to do that. So what? They didn't know either. I just think they know. But they had to find their own way. So I'm finding my own way. I'm putting myself out to whoever feels called. I'm not doing this because I'm better at it or I know more or I'm somehow special. I'm not. I'm exactly the same as anybody. I'm doing it because I've walked this path and I have some things to share about it. And if it helps you, great. And if it means nothing to you, fine. You got to go find the teacher that does mean something, that can share in a way that will help you. We cannot be all things to all people. I don't need anyone to see how I see. But if how I see makes sense to you and helps you, great. Then we'll walk together on this path. And that's what's going on. That is a way of serving the world. Father Greg Boyle, who you may know runs Homeboy Industries in Los Angeles, is the biggest gang intervention organization in the world. He offers a path to Latino gang members to get off of the street, out of the gang, and into productive society. And he said, we are called to stand in awe at what the poor have to carry, rather than stand in judgment at how they carry it. Can you feel the difference in those two things? I am not here to judge how someone carries the burdens in their life. I have no idea what it would be like to grow up in those circumstances of the people that he is serving. No idea. And it would be very arrogant of me to assume that I do, because I can look at it from the outside or I read a book or something. That is not helpful. Lived experience is the only real definitive knowing. So my job is to stand in awe of how they're carrying it, because they are carrying a heavy load. And I don't know if I could or not. I like to think I could, but I haven't had to. I've had the privilege of not having to carry that heavy load. But can I at least honor how they do it instead of stand in judgment of it? That is a healing path. That is how Greg Boyle has opened a door that allows him to serve. And so many lives have been completely turned around because of the work that he does, because he is willing to see it that way. That's part of our work. So I'm going to close with this. Once again, here's your formula for life, all you need to know. Trust God, clean house, and help others. I want to say these are not separate stages. It's one continuous movement, like a dance, right? You're not just doing one, then one, then one, even though we might learn it like that. It is like learning a dance where they put the footprints on the floor, which I'm really not very good at. I do this, and then I do this. And then you watch someone that's been doing it for a while. It's like, how do you do that? Practice. That's how you do it. It's one continuous motion. Trust roots us in the indwelling spirit. Inner work clears the channel. It clears the way. It gets us out of our own way so that we might be of service. And service expresses this flow of the Spirit within us. All of it is essential. Thomas Merton said, the beginning of love is the will to let those we love be perfectly themselves. We are not here to fix anyone. We are here to love everyone. The Spirit will show them the way. The healing will happen within them. It's the Spirit in them that does the healing, not me, not you. I'll close with this affirmation. I'll read it and we can share it together. The indwelling strength of God steadies my heart, clears my mind, and flows through me in service to others. Let's say that together. The indwelling strength of God steadies my heart, clears my mind, and flows through me in service to others.